live. Let me make sure I see us. And here we are. I'm going to start the music. So give me a second here. And here we go. You should be able to hear everything. All set. Bingo.
So you want to be?
We're streaming. Hi, LinkedIn. Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. Bonnie and Karen, we're back.
Looking real.
Looking real. Feeling fine.
So you want to be?
I got my six again. Bop, 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 bop. Thank you to the wonderful voice and music of composer Serge Hoffman, my friend in Paris, for doing this for my lyrics. This is We Dish. And I was calling this more Two Saucy Dames because when I started the show a couple months ago, Karen G., my dear, dear friend, was one of three ladies I invited on the show. We had Mary and we had Sherry and we had Karen. And I called it more. Now I've expanded it, Karen, into We Dish, TOO in caps, Saucy Dame, singular, plus cool dude. And I've spoken to, I think I'm up to 20 cool dudes, and a couple of them have been on twice.
Wow.
What do you think of that? Pretty cool beans, right?
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. So welcome, Karen. Just say hello to everybody. It's February 7th. You're wearing red? I wonder why.
I just happen to be wearing red.
Well, why? What's the special day today?
Does it have something to do with women's heart health?
Yes, it's national, but I'm going to make it international because we're global now. It's Wear Red Day in honor of women's cardiovascular health. And so, yes, so I've got the red flower, the red hair, the red lipstick, the red microphone. And I told Karen, and she went and put on this.
Yes. Changed in like 2 seconds.
I want that shirt. Do you know that I read an article this past week that said most red lipstick is made from a certain bug?
You were telling me.
Insects that they crush and they pulverize, they put through a process, and it's called carmine is the name of the color, CARMINE. And my brand uses that. They do. I didn't know that. I don't think it changes anything. And it's also called, I think, C4, Carmine 4 on the ingredients. So you can look it up. I wish that's an article I wish I hadn't read. So Karen, we're here on We Dish with, we have better news than that. I'm going to read, there we are streaming. Yes, I'm going to read the long bio I wrote for you with the help of my good friend, Sylvia Speed. You know who she is. She's my virtual assistant. And let's let everybody, in case they missed the last time we were together, here we go. So, welcoming back Karen G., a too saucy dame on a lifelong quest. Here's my rhyming intro. Then she'll tell us if I missed anything. She'll tell us the rest. The story of Karen G., a life of creativity and care. When I speak with Karen G., I am inspired by her zest and her flair. Here we go. Born to an Air Force family, Karen G. took flight. Oklahoma, Guam, Hawaii. No more moves in sight. From Anderson Elementary to Aiea High. Her journey began under the wide open sky. First, a marketing maven with a degree to her name, PR for Hawaii's Bar Association brought her career acclaim. But her heart sought more, a calling to teach. Helping young minds was within Karen's reach. Launching Brain Builders Tutoring, her passion grew, guiding students with her wisdom anew and anew. But life through its trials, Karen rose above pain, a suicide survivor, deep lessons she would gain and share. Karen G's story shines bright with written prose. She wrote, Mama's Gotta Let Go, with the solace she chose. With her book, 365 Parenting Quotes and Tips for the Day, she empowers so many parents everywhere in every kind of way. A neuro-linguistic coach and positive intelligence guide. I took the course and she was my coach. Karen G helps families find peace in their stride. Through lovely art, we're going to share some today, and her meditation, her spirit is free. A creative soul graciously sharing her legacy. Married to her Maui Prince Charming, Thomas, for 25 years. Woo! A bond filled with laughter, love, and so many cheers. She's a devoted mother to daughters and furry pets dear, and lovingly penning her mama's memoir that all will revere. An explorer at heart, Karen has traveled the globe from Japan to Liechtenstein. I can say that, embracing the world's vibrant robe. An aficionada of K-drama, K-pop, yoga, and naps. She loves naps. She embraces life with no time to lapse. From hosting creative summits to podcast galore. and a lot of reels and shorts on Facebook and Insta and TikTok, I'll add. Her passion for parenting opens new doors. Today, here on Bonnie D's creative stage, Karen G again brings her wisdom, her heart, and her sage. We hope you'll enjoy as we chat and connect here on We Dish. We'll bring fun you might not expect. Bonnie D and Karen G, today's two saucy dames. Together we'll dish on life's many games. What'd you think? Did you like it the second time, Karen?
Wow. I never get tired of listening to that. Whenever I feel like I've done nothing with my life, hey, let's listen to what Bonnie and
There you go. Sylvia and I wrote that
Sylvia.
together. You sent us a wonderful,
Beautiful.
and I'm going to leave out the 25,000 bullets of everything you've done and all of your hosting and your book titles and all of that, because that would be a whole other show. Karen, let's go back to the roots of We Dish and let's talk about music first. And then I have some new topics for us to talk about. So tell me something, my friend, my dear. Favorite two saucy songs that define you, describe you, inspire you, speak to you. What have you got?
I had to think about this and I went down memory lane. Roar by Katy Perry.
Yes.
I got the eye of the tiger, fighter, dancing through the fire because I'm a champion. I think even though you don't feel like a champion in some days, you've got to hear me. I'm gonna roar louder than a lion. And I thought, wow, that's very inspiring when you need some
Can you roar for us, Karen?
inspiration. Roar.
Little muted, but we got the point. You got another couple songs for me?
I think my one of my favorite go-tos if I feel like blah, I don't know why, is How Deep Is Your Love? The Bee Gees. I think it's
How deep
just
is your love? How
so
deep is your
yeah.
love? I
It
really
just
want. Yeah,
calms me. Yeah. And it's
beautiful
my
song.
ringtone for my husband. So one time I heard it and I thought it was a ringtone, but we were in a department store. It just happened to play and I'm like, wait a minute. Did you hardly hear that? You know, these days.
Absolutely interesting. Yes. One more? Got one more?
One more. What about had this on my dad's celebration of life. One of the songs was My Way.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
instead of I did it my way, I'm doing it my way and not
Yep.
letting judgment or fear
Yep.
prevent you from doing it your authentic way.
Cool.
Let's hear yours.
I am now going to just use the what they call, not the film, the discography of Donna Summer. A lot of
Ooh.
people call her Summers with an S. It's just Summer, singular Summer. But she was a performer to me for every season. And her collection includes the following. These all talk to me. She works hard for the money. Yes. Hot stuff. No, I'm not a streetwalker, but I've been called hot stuff in my day. I think I still am once in a while. On the radio, well,
Ooh.
since 20, I'm sorry, since 1998. So it's been a while, 27 years. No More Tears, Enough is Enough. That's a duet, and I've had my share of tears. Last Dance. I don't dance socially
Ooh.
anymore, but I was the disco dancer. I taught ballroom. I taught hustle. I taught Latin. I taught line dances. So I did have a last dance, but I'm up for another dance if anybody's interested. And I do the electric slide in my kitchen, and it's fun.
Ooh.
I Feel Love, which was a Giorgio Moroder song for Donna Summer, which had that beat, that machine beat, da, 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 da. And the one that I danced in the Disco Hawaii contest with my partner way back in the day, Michael Walker, it was from the MacArthur Park Suite,
Oh, I loved
and the
that.
song was Heaven Knows. And we came
Yes.
from opposite sides of the dance floor. I was wearing a black satin skirt that I was making my own clothes in those days. It was a cutout of a 360-degree circle with a wide
Wow.
band at the top, tied in a bow at the waist, and open completely when I spun. I was 97 pounds. I could get away with it. And a hammered
Wow.
hammered silk blue shirt with a top, which was spaghetti straps. And his mother made him a billowy sleeve blue shirt to go with my top. So we had matching outfits, and he had black pants on. And we came from opposite sides of the dance floor, and the music started da 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 da, and we danced to each other. He lifted me over his head, just like in Saturday Night Fever, did a
Yeah.
spin, death drop to the floor, about 6 inches off, spun me a couple times. I never touched the floor. The skirt did, but I didn't. And then we went into our routine, and we came in third place, and it was an
Wow. I wish I
absolute
saw that
thrill.
video.
I don't know where it is. It was way, way long ago before cell phones. I shouldn't even say that. And it might exist somewhere. We did a lot of exhibition dancing. We taught classes. We taught at senior centers. We taught line dances. We did parties at discos with our students. And we did some stage work as well. And we just had a wonderful time. And then that's it. So those are my songs. So I'm just keeping with the Donna Summer collection, which speaks to me and speaks about me. And I think that's enough. So we have some new off the top potpourri of topics. We've done superpower many times. I think we'll skip that. So let's do some new topics here. I haven't thought much about these. I'm just going to do them literally off the top. So,
Okay.
Karen, if your life had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Why do I not have that? I have the oh, that's what I did. I'm sorry. My theme song was Roar.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay. So you were
That's,
just talking about the three, yeah, songs, but yeah, I stick with that. Roar.
and mine would be, I think, Heaven Knows. Heaven knows why she does all of this. Heaven knows why she wants to be on radio and TV. Heaven knows why she has red
Wow.
hair. Heaven knows why she loves a red microphone.
It's a good
Yeah,
poem. I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna write.
heaven's not telling. Heaven knows. I like that. Next, if you could create a new holiday, and there is the National Holiday Directory, and I pick the holidays for each day on Mondays that goes along with one of the segments on my radio show. Well, I still call it radio, it's video. Read My Lips, Cool Conversations with Creatives. And I put the holidays that most people have never heard of, like National Strawberry Cupcake Day or National or Pencil Eraser Day.
Oh, I love that.
People have started these. So if you could create a holiday, and you could apply for it to be in this list, I think, what would it be and how would people celebrate, Karen?
I had to think about this, and I know you're not going to be surprised. I want create art and share day. So you can just do anything. I had a third grader just doodle and really scribble scrabble. And because art doesn't have to be what we think, like the whole right, some $4,000 like gallery painting, but create it, post it, give it away, share it via email or text, and
Mhm.
just I think it's fun to just share your creativity.
My holiday would be dress up to go to the grocery store day. Because I do. I go once a
You've
week.
done that.
I dress like this. I only have one flower, and I have jewelry and lipstick, and I wear a black coat, a wool coat with when it's cold, with a little not a fringe. It's like a ruffle around the bottom. It's not a fluffy ruffle. It's just in the wool. It's just the fabric goes around.
Wow, fancy.
And my red drummer boots, which are booties. They're not tall, and it's a red brocade on red. They're not suede. They're a leather, but they've got brocade in them. They're soft like a suede.
Wow.
And I dress up. I was talking to Eric Myers, who was one of my cool dudes, and he says he dresses up to go to the store too. I would have
Really?
dress up to go to the supermarket day, and everybody show up looking your best instead of just, oh God, I'm slumping to I gotta go get milk and eggs. Oh well, I really want to be here, and looking like they didn't even barely get out of bed. Anyway, I would say dress up. I would make a holiday.
I like that.
I would
I'll
make
do
one
that one day next week.
once a month. I would do that. Dress up to go to the grocery store. I think that would be absolutely fun. Make an occasion out of it. Next one, your spirit animal. Do you have one? I've never thought about
You
it.
know what? I love the sloth, but I took a quiz, one of those crazy, silly quizzes, and I got tiger. And I thought, tiger, but listen to what it stands for. Trust your intuition. You're able to be fast when needed, spontaneous, right? Special emphasis on understanding like emotions, courageous and offer support and guidance. So I think I can be the tiger and also standing up for my beliefs. So I'll go with that quiz answer.
That's lovely. I haven't thought about a spirit animal for me, but I think it would be a combination of my two Labradoodle grandpuppies. And I
Oh,
think it would be sweet, thoughtful, playful, still a little bit of a baby Amos, who is, I think, 7 or 8 in dog years. So he's middle-aged already. And Jake, who will come and sit by my feet. He's chocolate. Amos is on the blonde side. Jake will come and sit by my feet and just move up so that I feel him against my leg. Or if I'm sitting on the couch, he'll
oh,
sit next to me and just sit on top of my feet. And then if he senses there's a person outside, a window, a door, a car going by, he will run to any window in my house and jump up on the window or the door and bark like crazy, and being alert and aware and reacting. It's a little noisy, but I think I'm alert and aware of things going on. And Amos, playful, kind of quiet, accepting when he's tired and taking a nap, which I don't do often enough. I think I would combine the two Labradoodles and they would be my spirit animals. What do you think of that?
Perfect. I
I never,
love that.
I never thought about that. Yeah, yeah. I used to have goldfish and I had a parakeet named Tweety who had once, but I
Oh,
don't have any other animals. Ice cream flavor. Let's name some new ice cream flavors, Karen. What would yours be? I'm gonna
I
take a
had to
break.
think of this. Okay, so mine would be a combination of coffee, chocolate, caramel, pieces of fudge, and it's called Whimsical Swirl. So it's indulgence, right? Comfort, blend of energy, coffee, relaxation, right? Just the whole caramel. And so it's coffee and chocolate fueling you, while caramel and fudge bring you to a cozy, sweet, like spot. I know that it probably exists, but I'll do my own version.
Mine would
What do you
be,
think?
when you have the Neapolitan, you have the chocolate, vanilla, and
Yes,
strawberry on the
yes,
thing.
yes, yes.
Mine would be three different types of
Flavors.
vanilla, three different flavors of vanilla. It
Oh,
would
that would
be
be yummy.
vanilla, 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 and one would have dark chocolate chips in it, or may shavings. So you wouldn't have to bite the chip, which would
Yep,
be
yep,
when
yep.
they're frozen. They're very hard. We shavings of dark chocolate in it, but still vanilla. One would have strawberry slices in it, not too
Ooh,
big, not too big, and one would have dates in it.
we're just talking
Little
about
little
that.
bits of dates that are sugared, dusted with sugar in the
Ooh, that'd be
vanilla
yummy.
ice
You don't know
cream.
why? We have a dream cake and it's all filled with chocolate shavings. The whole cake is flavored. I mean, covered.
That's what I would
But
do.
the
I
but
would
the, but
have,
the shavings is it just adds to it and it doesn't have like a
yeah,
hard
yep.
bite.
I would have three types of vanilla in one. Used to be chocolate ice cream, and now I like to have the vanilla, and I like to put flavors
You
into
do
it.
different vanillas,
Different,
vanilla
different.
bean, the
It would
vanilla,
be, well,
different vanillas,
it would all be
separate
Breyer's
vanilla.
old fashioned vanilla. It would all be
Oh,
that
old
as the
fashioned
start,
vanilla.
but with different flavors added to it. So I could dig down and have the date, have the what was the second one? Have the date, have the strawberries, or have the chocolate shavings when I felt
We have
like
to
it.
submit this to 31 flavors.
I
Baskin
think
Robbins might be
I
like, you know
think we
what?
should
We'll do it.
call vanilla, old fashioned vanilla trio. There you go. Next, did I leave this in there? The most dramatic thing you've ever done to meet a deadline? Did I leave that into your notes? Because I have it in mine.
Yes.
Oh God,
That's,
what was I
that
thinking?
was actually pretty easy for me because I have many of those.
Okay.
So I think I do allow myself to cry. Most people are like, no, you don't want to cry. I cry. I have that mental breakdown, feeling like my world's about to crumble, right? Then I just force myself 5 or 10 minutes, and then I find that it just flows. And then my deadline is met. And afterwards, I'm like, oh, that wasn't too bad. But my daughter's like, Mom, you were just like, oh my gosh. And I don't know why I go from the world is ending to, it was a good experience.
I just remembered one of mine.
What?
When I was living on Long Island, I had a TV show, I think on Wednesday evenings at 7:30, live show called Something to Talk About at the PATV Public Access TV studio in Lake Success, New York. And I would finish the show and thank my crew. We clean up the studio, coil all the cables, and put the cameras away, and make sure we had a recording tape of the show, and close out. And I was the last one, and next to last one out of the studio, and make sure that the cable vision guy was going to lock up and everything was fine, and we had done our diligence. I was due to be on stage at a nightclub about 30 minutes away soon after. And my friend Mickey B, he called himself the Prince of Rock and Roll. He was a DJ. He threw parties at theaters. He was a big time for Long Island. A lot of people knew him, and a lot of music groups came on my show through him. We became friends over the years. And he was hosting at a disco about a half hour away. So I would get in my car and try not
Book
to
it.
break any speed limits and go. I would get there. The parking lot was full. It was in a shopping center. I would run in through the kitchen of the restaurant
Oh my
disco.
gosh.
They would all say hello, Bonnie, and I was on TV, so I was already ready to go. I just throw on a little more lipstick. I'd run up through the back through the kitchen to the back of the stage, and I'd wave at Mickey, I'm here, and he would say, and now here's Bonnie. I think they called me Bonnie G in those days. I think here's Bonnie G, and I would come on stage, and Mickey would say, "Welcome, Bonnie, and what was your show about tonight? And who's going to be on your radio show next week?" We both were on the same WGBB AM 1240 on Friday nights. My show was the Bridge Show, which was from 6 to 7 p.m. and Mickey's was 7 to 10 with his rock and roll show. So he would get to the radio station. This is another part of Long Island. And I was just finishing my show when he was getting there to start his right after mine. So that's how
Wow.
we came. So he would welcome me at this nightclub where he was hosting the rock and roll and the disco party on Wednesday nights. And that's what I did, almost breaking speed records and just, whoosh, I just got here and he was just ready. Bunny, what's going to be on your radio show? On Friday, I did a show called Ooh Ooh Baby on
Oh my
WGBB.
gosh.
I had 3 shows every week on WGBB. I had Ooh Ooh Baby. I had He Said, She Said, and I had something else, WGBB Tonight or something like that. And he would ask me who my
Wow.
guests were going to be. So that was a lot of fun. But I was literally, I was doing like 75. Don't tell anybody, to get there on the Meadowbrook Parkway and sliding into that parking lot and running up through the kitchen.
And then acting like you're just very
Oh, I'm just
relaxed,
fine.
right?
I have never, I don't think I've ever told that story in public. And I don't know what made me think of it, but there you go. That was a deadline. So there you go. So the one thing you're secretly great at that no one knows about, Karen?
The one thing, what was it? I know I just wrote this. What was it?
Make
I
something
think
up.
it was, oh, I know what it was. I just thought of something, right? And because I'm thinking, what was I? Because normally they'll know I connect with kids. I'm actually really good at massaging. So I used to add it, like during my parent coaching sessions, and I would bring lotion, do like their feet, their shoulders, their hands, maybe like 3 to 4 minutes. And I was told, wow, I had no idea because I really get into it. And then if you have yummy smelling
Yep.
lotion,
Yep.
yeah. So that's my probably no no parent would think that of me.
Oh, that's fun. Watching the delay on the encoder here. You're still talking and I'm looking at you and now you're laughing. Okay, we've got about a 5-second delay, which is fine. My
What
my
about you?
skill nobody knows about, I think, is 2 things. Making homemade soup with whatever's in the fridge. And
Ooh.
I bought organic baby carrots that were already cleaned and washed
Yep, yep, yep. I've got those.
they were already peeled on the outside, and I don't even cut them anymore. I cut a large Vidalia onion up in medium size, not very fine, small pieces, in medium size, and saute it in some olive oil with a little bit of Johnny seasoned salt. Then I'll throw in the carrots. I'm now buying celery that's already cut and clean in 4-inch pieces. I didn't even know they had that. I think it's organic. It didn't cost that much. It was a small package. And then I'll take some red potatoes. I bought little mini potatoes in a bag and I scrub
Wow.
those and cut them in 4 and throw it into the olive oil. And then I add not broth, but stock. And then I throw in oregano and I throw in tarragon and basil and rosemary and sage. And I don't measure anything. And then I add more of the stock and cover it. Let it boil and then let it slow down and cook it for about an hour.
I'm gonna
And
try that.
I will sometimes add noodles to it, broad white noodles. The kind you put in chicken soup, chicken
Yep,
noodle
yep,
soup,
yep,
the
yep.
big ones, not the skinny ones, not the vermicelli, the broad ones, the curly
The big
noodles.
ones.
I'll
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
a handful of those in it, and the noodles absorb a lot of the
Yeah, they
soup,
soak up the broth.
and it makes such a good soup to sit and have a piece of good whole wheat or whole grain or seed bread with while you're watching TV or reading a magazine or something.
Ooh, now I
So
want to make it.
yeah. And the other thing people don't know that I'm very good about is that when I go somewhere, mostly this is outside of a mall or a hair salon, and they have huge pots of coleus plants, which are red. The leaves are beautiful and red and green. I will quietly, I keep little scissors in my purse, sometimes a little plastic bag. I'm not telling anybody this. I will take a little cutting and put it on the car seat. And I'm only 5 minutes from my hair salon here. In the summer, they have these gorgeous coleus plants in pots outside the door on the sidewalk in this little mall, outdoor mall. And I'll cut a little piece and I'll bring it home and put it in water right away and root it
And
and
plant
then
it?
plant it in dirt. And I've got coleus that are they're like 18 inches tall in the window in my kitchen, growing up
Wow.
the window, and most of them are from cuttings. I do not buy those plants. I take
I
cuttings.
love it.
So
That's the secret.
I'm a coleus stealer and propagator. So there you go. Those are two secret
Add
things.
that to your resume.
There you go, I'm sure. And the last thing was, if you could be a movie character, what would the title of your movie be? Would it be a biopic about you, or would it be a comedy? Would it be animated? Would it be sci-fi? What would it
I
be?
think it's bio, but I thought I have definitely a lot of comedy through the past 25 years. I thought masterpiece, 25 years of lessons and laughs. So it would be like a magical wizard. And I would think, I was thinking about who would play me. And I think I just love how Sandra Bullock, no matter what movie she's in, she brings laughter. She can be, sarcastic yet loving and just, yeah. So I just thought that was a fun one to contemplate. What about you?
I didn't prepare this one. I'm just doing really literally off the top today.
Yeah.
I'm thinking one of the Donna Summer song titles would be the title of my movie. Let me go back to them. She works hard for the money. No hot stuff.
Not
No.
Heaven Knows?
I think on the radio.
Oh,
And
on the radio. That
I
is perfect for
I
you.
think it would be either animated or real actors and actresses. And I think I've started to watch Reba McEntire's new, well, she's a redhead too. I've started to watch her new show, Happy's Place. It's corny, it's cute. Melissa Peterson's in it, and some actors and actresses I've never heard of before. And it grows on you after a while. And I might want Reba McEntire to play me.
She would be perfect.
And it would start when I was on the radio at WGBB, when there was an engineer in through a glass window, and I was sitting there with the microphone in the studio, and it was all done very by the book, old fashioned. And then when I went on internet radio, and it was done on the phone for years, where you couldn't
Oh,
see anybody.
wow.
And then when I switched to Zoom, Skype, and then
Video.
Zoom in 2019, and now when radio becomes like TV, because here we are, we're doing a video
Yeah.
cast. So I think all the phases of that, I would call it something like Radio Red, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Radio Red through the years.
AKA Radio Red. That would be the title of my movie. So there, yeah, that would
Love
be fun.
it.
Yeah, I've got to use some of these questions on some of my other shows. I think for the
They are fun questions.
cool dudes. Yeah, I looked up what are some sassy questions to talk about on a conversation, and these are some of the ones I like the best. So we have ice cream, we have new holidays, we have spirit animals, we've got deadline meeting, we've got secret skills, and we've got a movie and who would play you in a theme song. This is
I love
pretty
it.
cool beans. Yeah, okay. So time for poetry and art, and then we'll do our three wacky stories. So what have you got? You want to do your poems first, Karen?
Sure. I have one called My Shell. I started to do this once per month challenge.
Mhm.
So here goes. Does it provide protection, or is it a prison? If it makes me feel safe, then it provides me with protection. If it prevents me from breathing, from creating, from feeling peace, then it is a prison. In silence, I ask my higher self to define my shell. After a few moments, I receive a crystal clear answer. I feel invisible warm hands hug me with unconditional love. I'm inspired to write, to paint, to get out of my comfort zone. I soon realize that we get to decide what shell we crawl into. Much like a hermit crab chooses its shell, we choose whether to face our fears. Will we venture out of our shell to find a new one when we grow out of our current one? Or will we remain stuck in our shell, fearful of choosing the wrong shell? We will practice the ultimate faith that the perfect shell awaits us. My shell whispers, you always find the right shell protect you, to guide you, inspire you, to live with joy, purpose, and peace.
Lovely, lovely. I did the same challenge, and I'll read. I have a
Oh,
disappearance
yes.
nine
your
here.
shell.
It's called the Writer's Deadlines. Mia Botha, Botha, is running this, and she's in Pretoria, South Africa, a different time zone completely on the other side of the world. And I wrote 7 variations on the theme. Actually, I have 3 of them here, so let me read those. So number 1 on the shell theme. This is called a disappearing nine. It's 9 syllables across and then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and it ends up with 1. So this is the first one. Mom told her life is like a shell game. And to the viewers and listeners, you have to know a shell game is where you, like in New York, they do it. I'm sure they do it in California, probably in
Mhm.
every major city where there's a table on the street, on the sidewalk, and there's a prize or something underneath, and the person who's running it, they're always in charge. It's like gambling. And they have 3 shells with a prize underneath it, and they keep lifting the shells and switching the prize, and you have to figure out where it is, and you always lose. So here we go. Mom told her life is like a shell game. When you think you know where it is, people move that dream you chase under another shell. So keep on your toes, eyes like a hawk, stay alert, and you'll win. That's
Ooh.
the first one. Now here's a limerick. There once was a mom who knew life, smartly cut through BS like a knife. Told her brave daughter, dear, it's a shell game, don't fear. Keep your eye on the prize, avoid strife.
I love that.
And then I have
Great advice.
a quatrain, which is the A B rhyme scheme. So the first and second lines have a rhyme scheme, AB, and the third and fourth. A quatrain is 4, and this is called a decasyllabic. There are 10 syllables in each line. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Her mama shelled out real life. I'm sorry. Her mama shelled out real deal life advice. Daughter, dare, beware ye old shell game scheme. Don't be shell shocked or let 'em fool you twice. Shells switch quick. Keep your eyes on your dream.
Wow, that can be a tongue twister.
It was, and I got my tongue twisted. So those are my shell poem. But I have one I want to share with you. It's called Seasons. This is a haiku, and it's seasons, and I think it's appropriate now because we were at 14-degree Fahrenheit weather here a couple weeks ago in East Tennessee, and now we're at 70 every day, and it's the temperature is like
Wow.
30 degrees. Now we're at 30 at night, and then so it's amazing. So winter sleep runs deep, spring awakens roots anew, summer bursts fresh joy, fall takes a deep breath. Mother Nature knows her truth. She deserves a nap.
Oh, I love that. That's my favorite.
That's a twin haiku. So there you go. So those are my poems. Thank you. We had one viewer here on YouTube and they're gone. You want to share some art with us? You got real or you have pictures of it, Karen? I've got pictures of
I
mine.
have my actual, yeah, because I am with sharing pictures. I get
Yep.
all what you
Yep.
call it. So this one I just did. Okay. I have this book called Yoga for Brain that I never opened up, and it's Zentangles. So I did
Let me put you
just
on
little
speaker. Hold on.
ones.
Let me put you on speaker. Everybody can hear it. Go ahead. Oh, isn't that pretty?
So Zentangle. So I first did this one, then I decided, you know what? Let's just like play with it. So a lot of it is circles, and all you're doing is repeating. So these really tiny, they're circles. There's like tons and tons and tons of circles all the way around. But
And
I
tell
just,
me,
it was
was
so
this a
much fun.
template? Did you copy a template or was this
No,
freehand?
no. It was yoga for the brain. They had different samples. So I decided to combine some of them. And you start with like a teardrop, then you do another shape over it. And you literally just, I can see why it's yoga for the brain because you are literally doing the repetitive like circles or repetitive petals. And it was fun. I haven't done this in a long time. I took a
Lovely.
Zentangle class years ago and I never thought it existed. You know, you see repetitive patterns, but what it does to your brain to calm it, very fun.
What kind of paint did you use for that one, Karen?
Oh, this was a glitter pen.
Oh, really? Very
That's all it
beautiful.
was.
Very
Yeah, it was
beautiful.
one of those fun glitter pens. So this one, someone sent me, you know how Instagram has those like try to make this.
Mm.
And you know, it's people, but all you're doing is stick, 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 stick with the dot, 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 dot for the head and little tiny feet. And you just, it's supposed to be shadows, but I messed up, so I just decided to just do different lines. But it was so fun to oh, and then you have to do the hands because the hands are holding, they're all holding each other's hands. And instead of a circle, it's a heart. So
It's
perfect for this
beautiful.
coming
I
Friday for
saw that.
Valentine's Day.
I
Did you see
saw
that?
that. I saw that method. I saw that on Facebook on how to do it with people.
Yeah, yeah,
Make it
yeah. Someone
3D.
sent me that link and then she did her own. And then I saw it's fun to see everyone else put
I
their own, because
think I
some of them,
sent that to you.
there's no,
I think
you
I
did,
did.
you
And by the
did.
way, I've got sun in my face. I have to close the blinds. I'm going to just leave you on speaker view. I'm going to get up and close the shade and I'll
Okay,
be right
okay,
back. So you keep talking, okay? I need you to talk for about a
okay.
minute and a half. Go ahead.
Sure, sure, sure. So, yeah, no problem. So for this one though, there are some that make lines super close, so there's no space whatsoever. So you probably have double the amount of people. But my next one, since Bonnie's coming back soon, is I actually had another piece of paper and I just threw on some paint, right? And then I put two pieces of paper together, Bonnie. And when I put the pieces of paper together, I squished it. And then when I peel the other paper off, it turned out like this. So all I had was blotches of paint, and I just put another piece of paper like this, and I just kind of squished it. And when I peeled it, I was really surprised at this because you don't know, right? You know, I've been doing a lot of, I guess I'm calling it the smushing method. And you literally, because sometimes I think I have too much paint. So I'm like, I wonder what this looks like. And I'll do it. And then the part that sometimes, sometimes it's the part that is supposed to soak in, the paint. But yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. This is really good I ask students, what do you see? And it's amazing. They come, a goldfish, a dinosaur, a chocolate cake, a
It's like the
tiger. So.
Rorschach test. It's like ink blots, right?
Yes,
It's
yes, yes. And
what
it's
do you
really
see?
interesting how some kids see like a violent, like, an animal destroying something, and other people see like
Lovely.
fruit at a grocery store. This one, I don't even remember doing this. Chelsea's like, yeah, because you do so much, but
Hold
I
it up
think I was
higher.
just doing different.
Hold it up a little higher. There you go. We want to see the
Oh,
whole
wait.
thing. Oh,
Yeah.
there we go. Good.
So
Good,
so
good.
I just did shapes, and this is all glitter pens.
Mm,
So
very
just something
pretty.
different.
Very sweet.
Thank you. Now let's see
Oh,
yours.
I put mine. Well, I have three real ones here. Let me go to gallery view. I have three real ones. I'm going to share my screen, and these are close-ups of parts of my painting. Okay, so, painting. So let me
Oh,
go
I
to
should do that.
advanced. Let me go to screens here. Desktop one. Here we go. So here's one. This is something I did very
Oh.
whimsical. This is on canvas, and this is the gold is glitter pen, and it actually drooled. It drizzled afterwards, which gets the long streaks. And this is, I think these are watercolors. I'm pretty sure these are watercolors before I started doing acrylics. And all of these little doodads, I made them into eyes, and I put some lips in it. And this was just, and hair. And this was just one of the pieces that I thought was really cute. So I took and here's another face. Can you see this one down here?
I
She's
do.
looking up, and here's a third one. Here's a third one on the right-hand
Wow,
side.
do you see those circles into eyes?
I call this at the beach because to me they're at the beach and they're just it's a see the kites? I turned those into
Yes,
kites
yes,
with the
yes.
squiggly stems and I let the glitter glue drizzle down almost like rain or water. So it made it I thought more interesting. I enhanced this a little bit in preview on the screen so that it would embolden the colors a little bit. It was a little faded when I took the picture. So I thought you would like that one.
I
And
love
they're the
that.
fishies. They're the fishies. They're the fishies. Let me make that a little bit smaller so you can.
Oh my gosh, I love the
There we
fishies.
go. There we go. There's the fishies. So it was at the beach. So they're the fishies and there's the water. And this was all watercolors and glitter. Pretty?
Pretty. I love it. I love the color combinations too.
Thank you. Well, that made me happy. And here's another one. This is a close up of a
Ooh,
piece I
how did you
did.
get the circles?
Well,
Oh
I'll
my
show
God.
you. This is glitter glue as well. Circles, and this is the balloon kisses in the background. And you
I
can see
can
the
see the balloon
balloon kisses.
kisses.
And then when it was all done, let me make it a little bit smaller here. When it was all done, this is just half of the paintings. The other half is similar. When it was all done and dry, I took navy blue from the container of the liquid paint for paint pouring. And I just held the container up and I drizzled a little bit up and down and up and down and up and down over the finished painting. So this
Oh,
was the blue on top. And to me, it was like stems or a vase
it
or
does. It looks like, yeah, stems.
a window. Yes. And that made me very happy. I love the colors in this one. And this was,
Oh, that turned out really
yeah,
pretty.
this was acrylics. And this is very pretty. And you can see a little bit of all the yellows in there. And there might be some glitter in here too. It looks like there's a little bit of glitter. I did this quite a while ago. Those are
Wow,
happy
love
colors.
it.
Here's another close up of one I did recently. And the
Whoa.
circles are after I pour the paint and I tilt the canvas, I take whatever paint is left in a little cup and I plop the
Oh, and you
cup.
just, oh,
I
you
bet
flop the cup over?
I bang the cup onto the canvas and keep moving it around. I pick it up and I plop it. I plop it. I
Oh,
plop
I
it.
never thought of that because I've
And
done
then you
pouring with different colors,
and you
but that's
get the
pretty cool.
perfect circle, and then you get whatever it is in whatever you've got, whatever shape is there, you get the circle on top of it. See the white circles and the red
Yeah,
circle?
and the middle one looks like a heart.
Yes,
That one right
that's
there.
all. And you can see the paint mixing here from the flowing. And that
Yes.
that was a lot of fun. And then what have we got here? This was part of a one of my buildings
Ooh.
in the city, and I enhanced the color. I brightened the color in my preview program. But this is on my wall here, and this is called one of my series of The City Never Sleeps. And this was all watercolors and glitter. And you can see that these are the buildings, and there are the windows in them. And then it's either sunshine or people smiling at the top of the buildings. The city
Wait, so the
never sleeps.
circle is watercolor too or glitter? The black circles.
The black is what is the circle is glitter around a watercolor filling in. They're filled in with
Oh,
watercolors. And the outlines on the buildings are the glitter as well. I use silver for this one and gold and black. And if you look at the very bottom, you see doorways. You see the
yes, I see
doorways
the
into the
doors.
build.
Yeah.
So those are either business buildings, work buildings, or they are high rises with people. And this is
Wow, that is
yeah.
so creative. I'm
And
gonna
I
play with glitter glue.
yeah, and I brightened the colors. And one more. This is several paintings that are lined up on the floor in front of my stand where my TV is. I have a glass stand where the TV is on top of. And this is several of the pictures that I have sitting on the floor that have been not, I don't have
Is
enough
that a
walls.
painting? The
These
the
are all
lower
paintings.
right?
These are, yes, this is a
Wow, it's
photograph.
like leaf.
This is a
Huh?
photograph that I framed. I'll go find it for the next time we're on the
Those
air. I think
leaves.
it was
Close.
leaves, and I think it was a dragonfly that I did a close-up picture of, and he posed for me many, many years ago. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and it's framed. But these are paintings that I've done. You could see all the colors and the swirls, and these are just paintings sitting on the floor. So I thought I would make a picture, a photograph of paintings waiting to find a place to go.
Oh, hey, that's a
Well,
poem right there.
that's a poem right there. So I'm going to stop sharing. And are you ready for wacky stories? You got a couple for me?
Actually, you know what? I do. You didn't have it on your list, so I was going to save it for later. But yeah, I had art, poetry, and I guess all the questions.
Okay.
But I thought this was funny. You know how the have you heard of the movie 50 First Dates? This was Adam
Yeah.
Sandler.
Yeah.
Well, this one woman went on 50,000 in 2022, but listen why. She woke up from a nap confused and had memory loss. Couldn't recognize her partner or her daughter. She kept calling her daughter the child. And then she thought her partner was her rideshare driver. So apparently, she experienced head injuries, a concussion, multiple seizures, and she retains 20% of her new memories. So her story is going to be coming up, I think, this week on Amazon Prime, and it's called 50,000 First Dates True Story. So she posts and she says, you know what? I don't even remember, like who he is. I know he's my rideshare driver. I don't know who this child. I mean, I didn't click on it, but can you imagine watching her this true story and 50,000 dates? So every day is literally, at least she's not afraid of him. But can you imagine? He's your rideshare driver who just never leaves.
I can't even, as they say. I have one for you. Let's go back and forth. I have one. It's similar theme, Karen. I don't know how that
Oh,
happened, but we didn't plan this. So let me share the screen here, and you will see a person named
oh,
Dan Bratzel wrote a book called Thank You for the Days. And he says, I spent 365 days celebrating fake holidays. And you and I just came up with holidays that we were naming, right? We were making our own.
yes.
National Hermit Day, Bubble Wrap Appreciation Day, National Cabbage Day. He
So he just did that?
he observed a different silly holiday or awareness day every day for a year. Fruitcake Toss Day, Bubble Bath Day, British Pie Week, Adopt a Rescued Guinea Pig Month, I Hate Coriander Day. And he said some days are important and some are silly, like Cap Locks Day and Zombie Awareness. And he said he began wondering what would happen if a person if they tried to observe a different one every day for a year. And so he wrote the book, and it's called Funny Sad Author of Thank You for the Days, Shower with a Friend, Talk Like Shakespeare Day, National Burger Day. What starts as a ridiculous stunt becomes a life-changing journey filled with strange encounters, surprising friendships, and the unexpected realization that love might be right under his nose. Humor, heart, a dash of absurdity. Luke must be the name of the character, discovers that sometimes the biggest adventure is learning to appreciate the little things and rethink what and who truly matters. Is that cool?
That is so cool. We do that once in a while. It's like, oh my gosh, we need to have our vanilla ice cream, or we need to, do
Mhm.
something silly. But it does create a little bit of fun, simple excitement because you're
I
looking forward to
I
it.
share these funny holidays every Monday on my Read My Lips Cool
I remember
Conversations with
that.
Creative
And that's
show.
what got me searching
Yeah.
for, like,
Yep.
because every day I have a calendar and it's like every year it's the same thing. But,
Yep.
it's fun to just see the.
Yep. National Holiday Calendar. I can send it to you, and I reference that for every Monday show. What's your next one?
My next one is why we should go to thrift stores. So in Illinois, John Carcerno bought a $4.99 plate at Goodwill. He later found out it was a piece of porcelain, 18th century Chinese export plate from the Qing dynasty, valued between, listen to this, $4,000 to $6,000. It was never used, very pristine, but I'm wondering like how he knows it was never used. But anyway, $4.99, 4,000 to $6,000 value. You hear about these things, but whenever you read them, you're just amazed at how it can happen to these people. And then when you buy it for $1.99, it is $1.99.
Sometimes you hear people went to a garage sale and somebody said, go up in the
Yes.
attic. It was my grandma's. Grandma lived upstairs and she used the attic, and they find a Van Gogh or a
Oh,
Dali
yes,
or
yes,
a
yes,
Picasso
yes.
up there, and it's validated. It's like, what? I know. I
Or,
know.
or like a little vase or something, and there's like a diamond ring or some treasure.
I have another one to share here. Let me go back to my screen. And this one is the oldest shoes in the world were found in Oregon. Look at the shoes, Karen.
Whoa.
Humans arrived in the Americas 20,000 years ago, long after the earliest dated cave paintings, musical instruments, and sewing needles. North America is home to the oldest known pair of shoes found in Central Oregon in the 1930s, and these were 10,000 years old. They were found in Fort Rock Cave in the northern Great Basin area, preserved in ash from the eruption of a mountain 7,700 years ago. 100 pairs of shoes, kids' shoes, some were tinged and singed, and some were caked with mud. They were made from sagebrush. The toes were covered. They had a weaving style, 5 thick warps along the sole that were split into smaller cords for an inner thinner toe flap. So it was a little thinner over the top, so they weren't so scratchy, I guess. Secured to the feet with cords that tied around the ankle. We have shoes like that, don't we? I think
Yeah.
espadrilles tie around the ankle. 9,300 years ago, this style was replaced by different weaving that is used by certain tribes that are indigenous to the area. So age and years of, here's some charcoal found in a fire pit there was 15,800 years old.
Wow.
Number of U.S. states that are in this Great Basin area: Nevada, Utah, California, Oregon, and Idaho. The likely height of the Mount Mazama before the eruption was 12,000 feet. And the year that researchers confirmed the age of the shoes using carbon dating, they did that in 1951. Cool beans?
Cool beans. When I was in Vermont, we just happened to go to this museum and they had the history of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so interesting because you see like something like that, and then you look at today's shoes or the ones that bind their feet,
Yep.
the
Yep. You got
interesting.
one
Oh,
more
I
for me?
I have a last one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Janet Wong, a grad of Yale Law School, a former lawyer who became a children's author, who played pickleball in 8 states while speaking at schools across the country. She won an NCTE, National Council of Teachers of English award, children's award for in 2021. But can you imagine? I just cannot imagine like playing in 8 states, doing your speaking, and then why not get an award for a children's book?
Why not? And I had
Why
to
not?
go to my doctor just for a checkup after some tests. Everything's fine. And his office is adjacent to our wellness center here in my community. And it's a gorgeous day. It must have been 65 degrees this morning. And there must have been 25 people on the courts playing pickleball. And they were in
It is
shorts.
huge here. It is
You
huge here, and it's not something that I would try, but it is
They have an
A
indoor
long
center,
time.
they have outdoor, and they were in shorts and sneakers and men and women,
It's
and they were
65-degree weather.
happy, 65, and they were happy, and you could hear the talking and the yelling, and they were walking around with their rackets, and it was just nice to see that people were getting out. Excuse me one second.
Yeah, they start at like 7:30 at the Y after my yoga, and they are so
Excuse
like
me.
they play with passion.
Yep. Yep. I hope I can continue this. I have one more to share and one more
Okay.
screen share. And this one is, why do the Brits spell
I
color
want to hear
with
this.
OU? Okay. When the US declared independence from England, Americans got rid of a lot of the reminders, like we won't get into that, the government style. It was the start of a linguistic divide between British and American English, marked by different spelling. So we have favorite with the OU or the O, and honor with the OU or the O. The English language, as we know, is developed from borrowing words from other languages. So the word color was
Oh,
adopted from the French couleur, Couleur. The British kept what they're calling seemingly superfluous vowels from the original language to give credit to the French. The word prior to the 18th century, spelling was not standardized. If a reader could understand the meaning of your word, who cared whether it was defense with a CE at the end or with defense with an SE? Nobody cared. However, along comes Noah Webster. You know the Webster's Dictionary. And he's an
yes.
advocate for standardizing spelling. So he made an effort to differentiate American English from British English and other English. So he simplified the spelling by removing what he thought were the superfluous extra who cares who needs them letters, and he matched the phonetic pronunciation. So in 1806, he published a compendious dictionary of the English language. He got rid of the U in honor, the K at the end of public, when it ends with a C now, the double L in traveled, which has one L, and he changed the CE in defense to SE. There are exceptions to the rule. The word glamour originated in Scotland, and it wasn't in his scope when he went and changed the words. So people still keep OUR, and nobody removed the U. And this is an article by Bennett Kleinman, who is a writer for Optimism, and he's
Oh,
also a
I love
freelance
that.
comedy
Optimism.
writer. So there you go. Is that cool?
That is so cool. I know I end up changing all of those, when you have a quote or anything. I don't know why.
I do
Maybe it's
too.
because it's just I don't know why it just bothers me, but
Me
that makes
too.
sense.
Yeah. I take out the OU and make the O all the time. I do that
But
too
what's
when I'm
interesting is when you collaborate and then they're from Europe and it just like so I don't change it, but then if I have to, promote it, I'll do it I won't say the right way, but the way that we were taught in America.
I was teasing somebody for sounding Canadian. I had a Canadian guest on. A
Oh.
lot of authors on some of my shows are Canadian, and I was because they say process instead of process, and I
Oh
thought
yes, even in
that
yeah, in England too. And then Norway, she was saying, well, the artistic process, and I don't know why it just sounds I guess it's just different to
it's
our
different. I love it. I love
ears.
it because it gives you an idea of where they're from, the
Yes.
local dialects. I want to read you one acrostic poem before we finish here. I read this before,
Okay.
but this is when I used to belong to a different poetry group. Once in a while, the moderator would say, "Write a blank like blank poem." So blank would
Oh,
be anything like sweet like a flower or yellow like the sun, and you would
so
put in the
blank like
word
blank, and then you do it.
blank blank. So I wrote an acrostic about the words blank like blank. So
Blank.
it's BLANK and I'm going to
Oh,
show it on this.
wow.
I'm going to show it on the screen here just so you can see it because it won't make any sense if I don't. Okay, let me see if I can get it big enough. Let me do a quick screen share here. Okay. So it's ignore the other stuff. So it's believe in love always, never kiss. That's BLANK. A leprechaun in a kayak, every, that's like boats like a nervous kangaroo. So let me read it again. So believe in love always, never kiss a leprechaun in a kayak, every boat's like a nervous kangaroo. And that was it.
I love
You like
that.
that? And then
I'm gonna try that.
I did one called Night Shift, and this one, I'll read this one as well. This is from 2024. Never, this was each letter you'll see going down, okay?
Okay.
Never quite really at rest. It's the life of a creative. going, gripping, gyrating, growling, groaning, growing, highs and lows, floating on a mental Mobius strip. The days are the nights of the days again, shifting off and on, into and out of gear, hoping for unique brilliance, even once. It's a calling, command, curse, roller coaster, finding eureka, euphoria amid frustration, fears. Thus is the life of the creative. And
Wow, very, very creative.
that was Night Shift.
You
Thank
have
you very
amazing
much.
words. I think that's your superpower. I mean, I think
think it
everyone
is?
knows. Well, I know because we share poetry, but I wonder if how many people realize how it just like flows, you just
Thank you.
true spontaneity.
I miss having a place to go and write poetry, 3 or 4 poems a week, and I'm looking for another poetry group. Speaking of poetry groups,
Speaking of poetry group,
rumor has it that people we know who are planning something called a poetry playground for people to come and join us.
poetry playground party.
Join us free on a Zoom call on a Friday in April. What day was
Yes.
that?
April
Yeah.
11th.
April 11th, right? And we're inviting people to come and join us and we'll give some prompts. Could be a blank like blank. It could be a color. It could be a word like shell or a word like door, or it could be anything. It could be foot. It could be eyelash. It could be heart. It could be anything. And we'll give you a couple of minutes just to write something down. Doesn't have to rhyme. There are 128 different formats of poetry, so you can use anything. It can be just flowing, a prose poem like Karen likes, or it could be a limerick like I like. And we'll share
And
them
bring your drink, bring your snacks, and truly
make a party.
Enjoy the party.
And then we'll share our poems around the table. No judgment. It's a judgment-free zone, a critique-free zone, and it's just to have fun writing some poetry spontaneously. So if you know anybody that one person is still back watching us on YouTube, I bet one of your friends. I bet you told Des or
you know what? When I asked her, she hadn't popped on, so I'm wondering who this mystery person
Somebody
is.
else keeps coming on 3 or 4 times, so they just lost.
Wow. Well, you know what, mystery person, join us on April 11th and have some fun with words. You're just playing with words.
They just left, but they'll hear this. They'll watch it. So that's what we're going to do. And Karen is going to create some of her wonderful reels and shorts for Facebook to advertise it, maybe on
definitely
TikTok and
maybe
Insta. And
yes.
Look for it, and we'll be looking, and we'll like, how many people are we going to accept? We decided 10 to cap it at 10.
Sure.
Okay.
10 sounds good.
See how we make executive decisions.
But if there's an 11th person,
we'll take
we'll
them.
Slide. Yeah, we'll slide it.
We'll take them. It'll just be a party, and as I say, no sweat. And you don't have to have your camera on when you read your poem. It could just be audio only, but we would like everybody to share. And we'll be doing it too. We'll be creating poems on the fly. Maybe fly will be one of the prompt words.
Yes, that'll be fun.
It won't be prepared poems, although we may bring some examples. But it's called the Poetry Playground Party with you know who and you know who. So look for some promos for that. Karen, it was lovely finding out your song, your ice cream, your movie, your spirit animal. Let's do this again soon.
Same here, definitely.
Put the music on here. Let's roll this song
back. Got my little drumsticks.
Here I got to put the music share on. Hold on. All of this work to do. My goodness gracious.
Thank you so much, Bonnie, for all the work you do.
Oh, my pleasure. It's just fun being an engineer here. Here we go. Let me start this again, and let me get the audio up, and we should be good to go. Got it? Thank you to Serge Hoffman for composing the music and singing my song. So you want to be. Don't go away, Karen. We'll take pictures. If you're looking for my cool dude shows, just find them on my YouTube channel. Bonnie D, akaRadioRed. Here we go.